Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Mr. Chill and today we're going right into the land of sharpshooters and cowboys and Apaches, the era of bounty hunters. Today we're going to be reviewing the gun game, so stay tuned, grab your hot beverage, and let's ride.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
I don't want to have a poke at it.
Don't touch me, you bastard!
There he is, the new and let's go.
This is for Jenny.
Gun is an action-adventure third-person western title that was developed by Neversoft and published by Activision in November 2005 over 5 different platforms of PC, Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and PSP. The most eye-catching feature of Gun, in my opinion, is the rich characters in the story and the cinematic narrative of the game, which makes it very special in the era that it was released. Being one of the first, if not the first, open-world western game ever released makes it stand out even in some aspects more than stoic franchises like Red Dead Redemption. Like all the western movies and games, Gun is set in the American Old West, specifically in Arizona, Colorado, Montana, and New Mexico in the year 1880. The locations in the game are heavily based on some real-life towns of the Old West, namely Dodge City of Kansas. Speaking of rich characters in the game, the story is rife with hateful villains and good friends which we meet throughout the story. The open world aspect of the game, though in its early years, is pretty immersive in my opinion, as there are lots of stuff to do, lots of places to go, lots of people to kill, and lots of stats to be improved. It is in essence what Red Dead Redemption could have been, with the limitation of those days, and I highly respect the developers for the great job they did. Gun features an action role-playing game environment, with heavy focus on shooting actions. There are a wide range of activities scattered around the map, although most of them are pretty bare-bone and primitive in the current standard of game development. They are engaging and exciting. As it fits for a western game, it includes bounty hunter missions, which can be started by looking at the posters indicating that some baddies are wanted in some state, alive, dead or alive, all of them being included in the mission.
Lulabelle Siddons, aka Bloody Bell, for castration of a well-known public servant. It is believed she has fled to the southern plains. She is sentenced to suffer a similar fate.
And these missions are portrayed in an interesting way. If you hand the wanted outlaw alive to the contractor, you will be paid an extra $5 for your trouble. Speaking of money, making money in this game is not as easy as beating people on the beach and collecting the money dropped out of their pockets on the ground. Aside from doing some bounty hunting, there are gold veins all over the map which you can dig up to gain $10. You don't often spend money on the ammunition as they are just casually placed on the ground for some reason and you have to just collect them. What you can do with your hard-earned money is that you can upgrade every tool at your disposal, from your melee weapons to size of your whiskey bottle and of course the stock on your guns. Other activities include deputy jobs, poker minigames, Pony Express, and of course your big old cowboy shenanigans. The deputy job involves roaming around the town, taking down some bandits, rescuing some families and defusing some TNT bombs, while the sheriff of the town speaks to you through some wireless phone device or whatever.
Raiders are riding in from the east. Well, looks like they're fixing to shoot up the town.
The poker minigames are just poker games, and you have to play the big hand and win the game either by bluffing or actual win. Pony Express is some odd type of mission in this game, as
Give 'em
you
to
are
the
tasked
foreman
with
just
transporting some
outside of
goods to
town.
some other place.
Thanks for the supplies, kid. We can step up the pace now. If I can keep the Irish sober.
And last but not least, my favorite type of side mission in this game is the cowboy missions, which you have to herd some cows into the barn in a sunny afternoon of the Wild West. These side missions add that extra bit of flavor to the game and makes the game that much more atmospheric. This helps to make you feel the inner cowboy just riding throughout the canyons on horseback. There are elements of interactivity all over the map. For example, if you kill too many citizens of a town, you would piss them off and make them try something serious on you. Also, you may encounter some bandits along the way when you are roaming the Badlands. These bandits are designed very poorly though and do not usually pose smallest bits of threat. Over the course of Gun's story, you have many weapons at your disposal, from simple 6-shooter revolver and Winchester rifle to Apache machete and Apache bow. All of the weapons are designed with a unique style behind them and have a different feeling to them. You want some classic old western shooting gallery? You can have 6-shooters and even dual 6-shooters. Prefer stealth attack and sneaky gimmicks? There's a bow in the game just for that purpose. Or you would rather enter with a blast of dynamite, then the Alfred Noble himself is at your bloody service. The game features a bullet time mechanic of its own style, where you enter slow motion first person mode to shoot down your enemies until your bullet time replenishes. It can be recharged with shooting the enemies in the normal mode and rewards you with more charge when killing enemies by a headshot, gunshot, or in a combo. When shooting with higher caliber guns, killing often triggers the limbs being removed from the body of our foes, which I find this pretty satisfying. Aside from these, the game features a number of melee weapons, like Apache machete and saber, which are pretty powerful. During some of the missions you are introduced to some big guns like a Gatling cannon and, last but not least, a howitzer cannon on the last mission of the story. Although the howitzer can be a little frustrating because it offers you no crosshair whatsoever, but either way I found it pretty good for its time. Another problem with the cannon was that it didn't damage the infantry the way it should have done. As you can see, these guys can walk and shoot straight after being shot a ball in their 4 feet vicinity. Some of the unique gun mechanics of this game are using the people as human shield and shooting the projectiles like dynamites, molotovs, and arrows in the air, which is a necessary skill for finishing the last boss fight of the game. Even your trusty horse does not shy away from combat, as you can ram and trample your enemies using a 4-legged demon. Gun reeks of TNT, gunpowder, destiny, revolver, and in essence the Wild West section of the history. It tells the story of a lonely cowboy going from one canyon to another, from bar to bar, from duel to duel, and from one revenge to another. Gun is a story of betrayal, forgotten past, and redemption. The story of the game is so good that the proper composition of cutscenes could have been a Western animated movie. The dialogues between characters, the epic cuts from one great scene to another, and the beautiful gunslinger style just makes you feel that inner urge to ride in the canyon, take every bounty note from notice board, and gun them down. Neversoft really nailed the character development in the short amount of story time they put into this game. Take Ned for example. As little as we get to interact with Ned, we realize the empathy and the kindness of a father in him. For the entire length of the plot, we are getting introduced by hidden parts of Ned's life and character. The kind of masculine warmth which stems from fatherhood kindness is evident in every aspect of Ned's actions.
God damn it, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I ain't your father. Now go!
Magruder and Josiah Reeds are a perfect villain duo, the one being the brain and the other being the brawn. They are the bad guys by the definition of a Western title: brutal, immoral, and greedy. And last but not least, the main protagonist of ours, dear Colton White. The way Colton acts as our hero by defending his friends, staying up to morality, Drooling over revenge and the way he shoots his revolver is the ultimate formula for your cowboy hero fantasy.
I'm Hoodoo Bro!
You were.
Gun is a great game, no word on that. Could it have been better? Of course. Side missions had great room for improvement, adding extra details and backstory about what went wrong in the town, instead of just popping up in the sheriff every time with the same dialogue would have been better. What I mean is that they could treat these side missions the way they treated the main missions, as it is evident that they have been super capable of it. The place is so empty and soulless, like I can hear the crowd chattering in the room, but where are they? I don't know if it's because of the hardware limitations or not, but some good old friends playing poker together in the bar would have been nice. Another point I want to make is how the shops are just empty, with no one inside, making them one-time usable buildings in the game. These are some minor details that could have been put into this game with little effort as far as I know. But, whatever. In the graphics and visual departments, it does not quite keep up with the current standards, but I'm not gonna be a bitch about it. After all, those limitations matter, and the same can be said about almost every game of that era. But we don't love the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Max Payne because of the graphics, do we? Visuals aside, story-wise the game is outstanding, the feeling of the gunshots are excellent, the atmosphere and the music is outrageous. Playing it in 2024? I would say yes. If you're really into some revolver action and can tolerate a bit of graphical downgrade, why not? I enjoyed this game, and I'm sure you also will.